Hello everyone and welcome back to the Stadszaal in the Noord-Brabants Museum for the fourth day of the 56th International Vocal Competition Liedduo in s-Hertogenbosch. Last night, the 4 finalists were announced and they are all getting ready for the finals on Sunday, October 15th at 4 o'clock in the Vergaderfabriek. For the duos that did not advance to the finals, every year we have masterclasses given by members of the jury, and this year is no different. These masterclasses are a great way for the duos to be reinvigorated and inspired after a tough few days of competition, and we hope that you'll join us in cheering them on today. Today's masterclass will be given by composer Errollyn Wallen. In our first duo, tenor Michael Bell and pianist George Ireland are ready to go. After their session, we have an interview with composer Errollyn Wallen ready for you guys about her work and life as one of the 20 most performed living composers in the world. Don't forget that tonight at 8:15 we have the IVC Laureates recital with soprano Sofia Burgos and pianist Daniel Gertzenberg, and after the intermission, mezzo-soprano Esther Valentin Fjolt and pianist Anastasia Grishutina. It's going to be a wonderful concert. Enjoy the masterclass, and we'll see you tonight.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wish it was that easy in most of my career. I just turn up and people applaud. Thank you. Welcome to the first of 3 masterclasses featuring our 56th edition participants. Very excited to start with Michael Bell and George Ireland. But just a couple of words about what a masterclass is. I think a masterclass is one of those, we get a little insight into the workings of what goes on from somebody who's prepared to share their experience and swap ideas, singer to pianist to composer. So it's like sitting in on a little conversation. So do feel free to relax through it. I'm sure if you have questions yourself, Errollyn will be happy to answer all of that sort of thing. So she is sensational, and I'm very proud to call her my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Errollyn Wallen.
Hello. So this masterclass is not about me at all. It's about the music. So welcome to stage.
All right.
So, do you want to introduce?
So we're going to sing Lord, What is Man by Purcell in a realization by Benjamin Britten.
Lord, what is man, lost man, that thou shouldst be so mindful of him? Lord, what is man, lost man, that thou shouldst be so mindful of him? That the Son of God forsook his glory, his abode, to become a poor, tormented man. Lord, what is man? Lost man, that thou shouldst be so mindful of him, that the Son of God forsook his glory, his abode, to become a poor, tormented man. The deity was shrunk into a span, blessed spirits tell which did excel, which was more prevalent, your joy or your astonishment. That man should be assumed into the deity, that for a worm a god should die, that for a worm a god should die. Oh, for a quill, for a quill drawn from your wing, to write the praises, to write the praises of eternal love. Oh, for a voice, for a voice like yours, to sing that anthem here which once you sung above all. Oh, for a voice like yours to sing that anthem here which once you sung above. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Oh, okay.
That's absolutely fantastic. And what was so clear from your performance now and yesterday is the, I don't know, the simpatico you have with each other. You generally, we know that you're comfortable and you enjoy performing together.
Yes, definitely.
It's such a wonderful, so it means for us, the audience, you put us at ease.
Good.
Now this is quite an epic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And why? And this is what you would have been singing in the final. And
Yeah.
what was it that you chose it for specifically to show off your strengths? What was it?
Well, I suppose as a bit of storytelling, it's so rhetorical and, strong in that way. It's sort of, when I'm in an audience, and it's particularly where it was in the program, I thought it was a good moment to sort of get people's attention again after, sort of the midway point and, something exciting and interesting.
We also discussed the kind of arc of our program, which, if sort of up here is cheery and happy music, and then down here is kind of perhaps more despairing and profound, and we had a sort of shape like that, and this intersects roughly in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Yes. And what I wanted to say is that you pretty much got the storytelling instinct, but I feel this is in specific parts. And the one thing I would like us to find today is the sense of awe and wonder, which is how it begins.
Yeah,
With.
yeah.
And it goes quite dark, and it goes literally from the dark to the light,
Yes,
doesn't it?
yeah.
To the state of grace at the end. But I wonder if we could. I always feel that songs that start with questions, especially a question repeated twice, demand an examination of both parts of the
Okay.
question. So the music already goes up. Let's try this opening. See what you can do with the first question. Oh, Lord, what is man, lost man, that thou shouldst be mindful of him? What is your state, both of you? What's the state?
I think the opening one is sort of more, in a way, more matter of fact. It's sort of, how can this be the case? How can the divine have anything to do with what I'm looking at right now? Mm-hmm. And then perhaps the second time is more the actual disbelief, the genuine. I cannot understand why
Yes.
God would ever appear among human beings.
So basically, that state is one of humility, isn't it?
Yeah.
So humility, I don't know if that goes being matter of fact, but I'd like you to maybe a sense of astonishment. It's marked forte. By the way, all the markings, dynamics, all Britons.
Yeah.
So see if we can just find something strong, but from a point of astonishment and wonder.
Okay, yes, that wasn't quite.
Let's try
quite
that.
right.
And then the second time, well, it's still marked loud, but we have to change. We have to do something to really impress on the audience.
Yeah.
To reinforce the first part.
Yeah.
So what state would that be?
Well, I'm thinking about words now, and so if the question is, Lord, what is man, lost man, that should be one problem. But if the problem is, Lord, what is man? I think the first time, Lord is the most important word, and maybe the second time, what is the most important word?
Yes,
Because-
try it.
yeah.
Try it, because you really do need to hear. It's the very opening. You've got to connect deeply with that text.
Yeah.
You got to think of, I don't know, trombones, sackbuts, everything. It's not great in the bass, that piano, but really banged. I mean, it's a thunderclap, isn't it? Yes, and the subject, you've just burst out of the clouds or something. Don't prepare that, Lord, because we've had the thunderclap, and so it's if you have to come out of that chord. You can't think, oh, let me find a minute, and then sort of slide into it. It has to boom. Do you know what I mean?
What is man, lost man, that thou shouldst be so mindful of him? Lord, what is man, lost man, that thou shouldst be so mindful of him? That the Son of God
Good. You see, if it was me, though, I wouldn't mark both forte. I would find you've got to do something with that Lord. What's hard? It's hard putting an accent on the L. Could you just try, as if you were about to speak it? Just get that look.
Lord.
That's better. See what I mean? But I still need to hear you connecting with the text a bit more. And I don't mind if that opening, I don't think it needs to be tidy musically. I think you just have a natural big sound. Try and go something even a little uglier for that first
Okay.
time.
Are you convinced by my thunderclap?
I love the thunder. Don't we love the thunderclap? But you know, the thing about the piano and Britain, I'm sure he was realizing it and thinking of instruments. And it's so, we just have to say how amazing it is that Tippett and Britain, for them, Purcell was totally rejuvenated their harmonic language. And it's music that uses modes, so the tonality is just so different. But it totally refreshed their palette. So just try something ugly at the top.
Okay, all right.
is man lost?
Is there a way you can sound a little less sort of chorally English? Do you know what I mean? You've got to imagine yourself from, where could you be? Where could you be? Imagine yourself as, that this text, I can't remember, you're singing it for the first time and I don't know where you might be, but you're not in England.
Okay, not in England. Lord, what is man, lost man, that thou shouldst be so mindful of him? Lord, what is man, lost man, that thou shouldst be so mindful of him? That the Son of God forsook his glory, his abode, to become a poor, tormented man.
Thank you very much. And you know something? You have the juiciest intervals to really get into. And that time I was quite enjoying the sense of, plangency but really work hard on it. And it's a thing that all of us, as performers, well, certainly composing, I think I set out and saying, I want to do this. And then I always step back and say, but actually, have I done it? Sometimes we need to exaggerate things for them to be really clear. So start thinking about that. And, try and really dig into the emotion of it. It's so hard with music of the past that we've heard maybe many performances recorded, but to make it right for you, for both of you, and for you, always be looking for the sound that's going to give us, the sound with the text that's going to give us the real life and death situation that's described in these words.
I'd like to ask you, if I may, in your experience as a performer, how do you find that balance between emoting fully or as close to fully as possible whilst remaining technically calm and in control? That is always the kind of, on the head of the pin kind of thing. So.
Well, I would say when we're practicing, we try and get everything perfect. But once you step on the stage, the sort of the spirit of the performance, the truth of what's there in the music has to come first. So in other words, we know there will be mistakes.
Okay,
but the technique that you've been solidifying at home, that's there's your support. But I think I'd rather, you should allow that there'll be performances where you'll do different things just because you're really connecting with the music. That's certainly my experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not the great performance, but it's so important. I'd rather hear the truth than something sort of tidy and accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an exciting. So that was that bit. And it's beautiful music, isn't it? And then this is what I was saying. And this is what's a little hard for you, because the next section, which is reveal, which interestingly, Britain has given almost like a trumpet. Could you sing that? It's almost like a trumpet-like motif.
That one?
Yeah, like a fanfare.
Reveal ye glorious spirits, when ye knew the way the Son of God took to renew lost man, your vacant places too.
So the thing is that the first part is marked pretty loud, and then what I would have loved is for you to come, in the previous section, it's marked pianissimo espressivo, to totally come down absolutely quiet so that reveal has to burst out. And again, if you can find a sound if you sort of can think trumpet, what does that sound like? Just sing me a couple of bars, reveal.
Reveal.
Give us another sound we haven't heard.
Reveal.
Is it possible? What happens if you take off the vibrato? Just for the reveal, just for the first one.
Reveal ye glorious.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Your vibrato should be part of the whole thing. You shouldn't always think of it as just, it shouldn't ever be a habit, I I always feel. You know, my model, one of my great models for singing is Ella Fitzgerald. And, you know, she studied instruments. She sings the way she does because she studied instruments and started mimicking the sound. And that's quite a good I don't know, guide for both playing the piano and singing.
Well, I feel as a pianist, I get a lot from listening to singers, so it's this kind
Yes.
of dialogue, you know, which is interesting.
And can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
What is it that you enjoy about working with singers?
Ooh,
Do you
lots
play
of
with
things.
other instrumentalists as well?
No, I've never played any other instruments. I think the voice is beautiful. It can do true legato, of course, which we only aspire to do on the piano. And there is a kind of alive relationship, if that's the right way to describe it, between the words as they are happening
Yes.
and what you're playing, you know, and to be almost like a sculptor or something, molding that in real time in a performance is an ideal which you aspire to and sometimes achieve, and it's a great pleasure to aim for it.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to hear. So, will you promise me that you'll go away with this song and actually break it down to its component parts and think about the journey you need to go on from beginning to the end? So by the time we're at the end, it's typical Purcell in sort of bouncy mode. But so we've gone from the sort of this dark question, astonishment, wonder, right to the other end of state of grace. But I always feel that's the only way to perform, really, to think about what journey the text is going on with the music, and also what journey you're going to take the audience on. So when you're on stage, you know, you both have great technique. You've got to keep thinking in the moment of the imperative of everything. So, should we hear your...
Oh, the other one, yeah.
Yes, please. Tell us about your next...
So this is a Mozart song, but controversially is in French. It's Dans un bois solitaire, and it's about a guy he's renounced love, and he's walking in this lonely forest, and he comes across Cupid, and or perhaps someone that he falls in love with on sight, and immediately his life is totally turned upside down.
Sa beauté me flatte, mais j'aurais dû m'en défier, mais j'aurais dû m'en défier. Il avait les traits d'une ingrate que j'avais juré d'oublier, que j'avais juré d'oublier. Il avait la bouche fermée, le teint aussi frais que le sien, un soupir m'échappe. Il s'éveille, l'amour se réveille de rien, l'amour se réveille de rien. Aussitôt déployant ses ailes et saisissant son arc vengeur, l'une de ses flèches cruelles, en partant, il me blesse au cœur, il me blesse au cœur. Va, dit-il. Va, dit-il.
That's lovely. And I can tell you love performing that, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I like the classics,
Yes.
Mozart, Haydn, etc. I love that musical
Yes.
language has just always spoken to me particularly. I love it. I just think it's fun, it's human,
Yeah.
simple,
Charming.
charming. Yeah.
And actually, I see, for the piano part, it has quite a lot of different sorts of writing.
Yes,
Chordal.
definitely.
Talk us through it.
Well, it's wonderful. You get sort of legato and kind of a flow, and there's sort of some bits with dotted rhythms, and the way that the piano part and the voice are written to intertwine like that is really wonderful and beautiful. And
But just as in the Purcell, Britain, I think here your work is quite cut out for you. It sounds simple, but actually,
in this or in the
in this one,
Yeah.
it requires a lot of nuance. Also, I noticed that in your part there are no dynamics written in at all.
Yeah.
But I suppose your dynamics apply to the voice.
you
is
would
that what-
infer that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. What I would love is if for you, could you just play that opening part? To think about getting real legato in your fingers as well as with the use of the pedal.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, just. Great, but what I would love is for the right hand to be singing as much as your left hand is.
All right. Okay.
So, and you know that those arpeggios, they're really, the outline is the A flat moving to the B to the, it's telling it, so it's got its own arc. It's
Yes,
not,
definitely.
not an exercise, but I'd love to get more, expression and depth of sound in the right hand. Is
All
that
right.
possible?
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
Could you try? That's already a million times better. But can I tell you,
Yes.
be telling a story with that right hand in terms of the shading of it. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yes,
You'll think, what can I say? Think court anglais. Think.
Okay. Yes.
Think. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Try again. That was actually fantastic.
Thank you.
Just, you've got the picture, and you know even little things like the way the top line. Be aware of the sort of three-part dimension of it. That what I feel is when a composer writes notes, every note probably matters to them, and it's not that you bash them all out, but you just try and work out what that pattern is doing,
Yes.
and that within it, particularly with keyboard instruments, there's more than one line operating, but those lines talk to each other. And so often with Mozart's, it's based on arpeggios, scales, but we still tell the story.
It actually is interesting in this how it's not just the same arpeggio going round and round.
Yes.
It's pretty much sort of
Yeah.
going in that direction.
And that's what adds greatly to the it's very tender, isn't it? Very
Yes,
tender
yeah,
music. And I think it's interesting that you both come. Anyway, let's just try that opening
All right.
singing as well. And again, connect with the text. I mean, I'm not French. Where's Alf? What do we think of the French, my darling? And
Merci.
what about the don? Was the don good?
Oublier? Ah, okay.
Sometimes with small consonants. I think French people see it as such an open. People worry so much about the exact shape of the vowels that sometimes, and German is such like a consonant-focused
Yeah.
language to sing in, that people underestimate the. And that's what I love about people like Suzanne or something like that, how they work through consonants and how they really make the consonants.
Yeah.
So small consonants like
Do.
especially since it's the negation.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very helpful.
If I had said something, I would have not been so confident. But yeah, so again, this story, I can't tell you about this thing of taking us on a journey. You will have sung this song lots and lots of time, but for us, we want to know that we want to feel you're discovering it for the first time. Basically, that you're the character here, walking in the woods. So just take us on that walk. Just trying to think something. You know, after Sombre, you could afford just a tiny, certainly in the piano, just end that phrase slightly with the right hand.
Okay,
It's
yes.
grouped into just soup song, but it just,
For the breath and
yeah.
Yeah.
Try again?
Again?
Yeah. I like that, Jenny. So, darling, there's no need to rush along there. But do you see how fantastic this accompaniment? It's really just, it's winding its way through the winding
yes.
forest.
And is it all right from a balance perspective?
From where I'm sitting, yes, I
Yeah,
think so.
right, beautiful.
But I think you can, don't rush into that next bar, because it's like, this is, when you tell a story, this happened, then that happened, and that happened. But it's like you're as much part of the storytelling as Michael.
All right. Yeah.
And
Open
the
it up.
harmony gets very warm there with the flats come. It's almost
Okay.
Schubert-y.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But don't throw it away, is what I mean. Just go from Je me promenade. Yeah. Is that a good place?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry to stop you there. But you could do an intentional crescendo. Just go and very natural. Yeah. Just 1 second. That was so beautiful and gorgeous. Can you hear the difference? It's like now everything you do isn't a decoration. It's part of this unwinding, and also you can bounce off that. So at the beginning of the song, happily walking through the wood, but then we come to that word, amour, and then that's the beginning of the sort of twist,
Yeah,
and then we
yeah.
start to understand the psychology. So don't throw away that amour. See what you can give us there. What was your thinking? At the moment, it's just coming out of everything, but I think it needs some shading.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, no, definitely. I think maybe my hesitation is just quite a long way to go still, because I don't want to sort of give the game away too
No,
early.
don't give the game away, but the word is a central part of that's what the song is about.
Yeah.
So it's just, sometimes you can do things just with the shape you're making with your mouth.
Yeah.
Don't feel it's constrained.
Yeah.
It just feels a little tight. Let's go from Stella or D flat.
C'était.
That's it.
Yes. I know what it is. Sorry to be so pernickety.
That's okay.
But you've got the triplet before that. Don't make that louder than amour, even though it's slightly high. It should be running into it.
It run into amour. Yeah.
And notice Mozart's given us, the minim.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. You know that amour, that moment. It's just about thinking to the end of the phrase rather than I know I know you're doing that, but it's just to really take us to the end of the phrase. And
Is it like, am I phrasing off too much after the appoggiatura or something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that kind of thing. Okay,
and you're bringing attention to it, and actually it's the end of the phrase that's so important.
Yeah.
And I know it's tricky, isn't it? It's
Because you
quite
want to
tricky.
get, it's the balance you want to get between.
But it's got to be almost thrown away.
Yeah.
It's there so that you can lean into that C. I like that very much. And again, could I just hear a little bit from, I haven't got bar numbers here. When you start to have the chords.
Yeah.
Where's that? See, we have no bar numbers. That's from flatter.
I see where it
Major
is.
de
Yeah.
So that there again, you've got a hell of a lot going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Glossing over. I think it sounds a little bit on the surface.
Okay.
So it needs a little bit more shaping. Because if a composer changes, because Mozart could have carried on just doing same information with arpeggios, but we've changed the rhythm and the type of accompaniment. It's chordal, so it's a little stronger. So the things you've got to concentrate on, all the notes going down at the same time, where things repeat, how do you shape them? Do you slightly, but be aware of it, where does it go to the end of the phrase? Do you know what I mean? It's there to help the song and the text of the song. So can you just try again from that same bit?
Yes. I'll just do the bar before, if
Yes,
that's okay.
please. That's pretty good. But you know, and I loved how you're playing the chords, much better. They can be quieter, a little lighter. Again, think instrument. But when, this is such a glorious moment when we go to the flatter key, what can you give us to really bring out that juicy way in the middle of the piano without, do you know what I mean? It just feels as if you're throwing a good opportunity.
All right, yeah, that's a fair point.
Let's try going from, because this helps you a lot. So let's try.
Totally.
So lighter there, back to arpeggios, but then the harmony does that fantastic Mozart thing of going towards the flatter sound. And really, it's to do with how you organize the pressure of the fingers, but really to dig into that harmony.
Okay. Just me again?
Yeah, and sometimes you have a tendency to rush towards, don't rush.
All right, yeah, I'm sure that's true.
Together, please.
Oh, yeah.
Together.
From
Should we go from j'approche?
J'approche.
Sa beauté me flatte, mais j'aurais dû modifier, Il avait les traits d'une ingrate, que je veux jurer.
That's fantastic. That's good. But you see how much information is in there. There's all, you know, and the phrasing. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It really
all that stuff.
it goes by quite quickly, but it helps with the song.
Yes.
And you can start a lot lighter. But could you hear the difference in touch? You know, playing the piano is a very complicated thing because while everybody, you know, can put notes that, but Mozart, it's so specific. And there are different types of touch, aren't there?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do something towards the end of this song. How do you feel at the end? What do you feel is happening to the character at the very end? Both of you, what do you feel?
So by the end, it's Cupid speaking, or L'amour is speaking, and I think he's mocking the guy he should have known better. You can't escape love, I think, is the idea.
But there's something very charming about this as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there's a sinister thing to it as well. It's supposed to be sort of a bit cheeky, a bit cutesy, but also ultimately it's ruined his life. So it's, you know, it's complicated.
It's not that charming.
Should we go
So
from
how do you
fa,
get
fa,
the
fa?
Dutch in it? Sorry.
Yeah, it's maybe it's too many. Maybe my aims are too diffuse, but that's the idea.
No. So where should we go from? Where do you want to go from?
Go for
From there?
it. Yeah, that's the precedent.
Yes. Right, can we just try that again then, please? So make that more exciting. So
Okay.
why don't you think of, you've got the opportunity, you're the one that plays the most, louder, and then land.
All right.
Just try that. What's the tempo, what's the dynamics there? All you've got written here is crescendo, then FB.
Yeah.
But,
Start softer, I guess. Take a
Yes.
risk. Take a risk with it.
yes. Perfect. And don't be scared of the forte at the top. Just try again.
Something like that.
Just give us the last 8 bars. I think I've run over time. I'm sorry about that.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
So I ran over.
We have just seen the first duo of the Errollyn Wallen Masterclass. Earlier this week, I had the chance to talk to Errollyn Wallen about her time on the panel, her life as a performer, as the Renaissance woman of British contemporary music. Errollyn Wallen, here we are again. As a judge on the panel, looking and listening to all these lead duos, of course you're a singer, a performer, very much involved in this world yourself. Are you listening as a pianist, as a vocalist, as a lover of music, all three and more? How do you...
Well, you know something, I'm primarily a composer, I have to say that. But in that, being a composer brings you into contact with so many different sorts of performing situations. And that's why I like to perform, because it really helps my composing when I then have to go and compose somebody, understand what they're going through. I think the number one thing for me is communication. So that means a real connection to the text, and everything comes from that. You can always tell if a singer is really inside the words psychologically.
Yes.
And so I know a lot of people say that, but to me that's almost more important than a beautiful sound, where you really engaged with the performer and they're telling you something, and it draws you into the music. That's so important to me. As well as I always feel that an audience, whether they're music specialists or not, do understand about phrasing and how, about how things move if the tempi's right. So a performer that can actually put the audience at their ease, so that so things flow naturally, is also important to me, even if they're nervous.
Sure. Yeah, it's about, I completely agree, the communication and putting an audience at ease, in the sense that, they can sort of forget that they're at a concert in that sense.
Yes.
I understand you have a book coming out very soon.
Yes, I do. In fact, I think about now the book will be back from the printers, but I'm here, so I can't be there to hold it in my hand. The book is called Becoming a Composer, but in it, the very first chapter is about writing a work for cello and piano and working with the performers to make it better. So I wrote it, but in rehearsal, before we go to recording, we really see how we can improve things, with the dynamics, with the phrasing, with the tempi, all these things. I feel so strongly that my life in music is a collaboration with all sorts of performers, and through working with them I learn so much about music.
Amazing. And you also have a TV series?
I do.
I understand.
Yes.
What
I
is-
made a 3-part series. I want to say I made it. I'm co-presenting it with Mylene Klaas. And it's for Sky Arts Television. And 3 one-hour-long episodes about popular works of music. So we talk about Carmen, the Four Seasons, and the Hebrides Overture. But what is really brilliant is that we have performances that captured live, as well as talking to a wide variety of people. But this is a program is for everyone. It's not patronising in any way. And I genuinely learned so much in making this program, because we had to take these works apart and think, why have they remained so popular?
Why are they so popular? So you talked to also audience members and the performers and all this.
Yes, performers and people who've. So, for example, we speak to a gardener about the Four Seasons, and we speak, all sorts of people.
Yeah. So in that same vein, talking about composers and performers and why are they so popular, there are some composers that, they hand over a piece and they sort of take their hands off the wheel and they say, okay, you do what you want with it. There are others that, even though they're maybe dead now, that you can tell they were very particular about what they wanted.
Yes.
How do you think about this, both working with performers or, putting your music out into the world? How do you think about this?
I feel it's so important for the composer to be 100% committed when they're writing that score, to really think about everything, every aspect of it. But to understand that the performer comes from their own lifetime and a tradition of performing, which means they can only add their expertise, and that I listen to them. But I feel if you've written a good piece of music, it should be almost obvious how it should go. But the work should be able to bear different interpretations. So I wrote a piece. My newest piece is a work for 2 violas, 2 fantastic viola players, Scott Dickinson and Andrew Berridge, and they both play in Scottish Symphony Orchestra. And I wrote a work for them, and it's quite detailed. But we had a rehearsal, and it's amazing, some tiny little things you think, they would say, what should be this, like that, should be like different ways of doing pizzicato. And then I think, oh yes, let me think about that. We can't wait, that was a Zoom rehearsal, we can't wait to be together. So sometimes it's the tiny little things that you learn in a rehearsal, you think, then I'll go back, I'll put that into the score.
Yeah. And you can't possibly play all of the instruments to the level that people will eventually play them. So of course,
that's what I like about composing. It's as if you've got to imagine you can play these instruments. So it's really good to be around great performers and think, okay, and then. But I always try and write as if I can play. Of course, I can't play, but the fact you don't play sometimes means you bring something new to the instrument.
Yeah.
But when I'm writing a piece of music, something really funny happens. Say if it's for orchestra, I'm writing. And then I know when I'm near the end, because I start to see individuals. I imagine people and I see them. It's a strange thing. And once I imagined this piece, this work, and I imagined the hall, but we didn't know where it's going to be performed, but I'd already imagined it. So when it's performed there, I said, yes, I imagined that. I dreamt it. But that to me is a sign that you're connecting with the performers. That's what that's about.
That's amazing. I love that so much. I don't think I can ask a better question that will come up with an answer that's better than that. So thank you again, Errollyn.
Thank you. It's been a delight talking.
It has been. Thank you so much. Good luck for the rest of the finals.
So exciting.
Coming up on Sunday. Very exciting. In case you forgot, the finals are coming up on October 15th at 4 o'clock in the Verkadefabriek in s-Hertogenbosch. We will see you there.